Alright, creepy Reddit story time. This is definitely an odd one. I've never quite heard anything like this, so let's get right into it and see what you think. This story comes from r/humanoid encounters. The user is Becca Whitaker, and their story is titled, "Has anyone ever heard of an entity like this? All three of us saw it, but our memories of it feel strangely blurry." Shirley, Massachusetts, USA. This happened years ago, and to this day, it's one of the strangest experiences my family has ever had. My husband and I were driving our 4-year-old daughter to her grandmother's house in Massachusetts so she could take her out to dinner. We were on one of those quieter back roads that branches off from the main part of town. It wasn't extremely rural, but it wasn't a busy road either. As we were driving, all three of us saw something standing partially in the roadway, closer to the edge than the center. It wasn't blocking traffic, but it was definitely standing in the road rather than safely off to the side. We've never been able to explain what we saw. The weirdest part isn't just what it looked like, it's how difficult it is to remember. When I think about it as a whole, I can still picture it fairly clearly in my mind. But the moment I try to focus on specific details or describe it to someone else, the image almost seems to fall apart. The details become blurry, and it's incredibly frustrating because I know I saw it. It's a very strange feeling that I've never experienced with any other memory. My husband has described something similar when he tried to remember it. From what all three of us remember, it was 6 feet tall, completely black, and had no distinguishable facial features. It had long, black, unkempt hair that looked matted or locked together in thick strands. I don't know if they were dreadlocks, severely tangled hair, or something else entirely, but the hair is one of the clearest physical features I can remember. Its clothing also didn't look right. It seemed to be wearing multiple dark layers, possibly including something like a long black trench coat, but the layers didn't make sense. It's hard to explain. They didn't hang naturally or look like normal clothing layered on top of itself. I remember looking at it and immediately thinking that something about what it was wearing was wrong, even though I still can't explain exactly why. Then there was the umbrella. It was holding what looked like an old, broken umbrella, upside down with the canopy open. It wasn't simply carrying it or dragging it. It genuinely looked like it was trying to use the upside-down umbrella the way someone would use a vacuum cleaner, slowly pushing it back and forth along the pavement. I know how ridiculous that sounds, but that's honestly the closest comparison I can make. That's exactly what it looked like. As we drove past it, its entire body rotated towards our car. Not just its head, its whole body. The movement was slow, deliberate, and unlike anything I've ever seen another person do. I don't remember seeing eyes or even a face, but I knew it was looking directly at us. The instant it turned towards us, both my husband and I experienced something I still can't explain. I've been scared before. I've been startled. I've been in dangerous situations. This wasn't any of those feelings. It was the most unnatural sense of dread and immediate peril I have ever experienced in my entire life. It felt primal, as though every instinct in my body was screaming that something was profoundly wrong. It wasn't a thought I had. It was an overwhelming feeling that hit both of us at the exact same moment. The strange thing is that it never chased us, never moved towards us, and never did anything outwardly threatening. Yet that feeling remains one of the strongest memories I have from that day. What finally broke the silence was our 4-year-old daughter from the back seat. In a calm, matter-of-fact voice, she simply said, "That wasn't real." Neither of us had said a word to her. That sentence snapped us out of whatever we were feeling, but it's also what has made this experience stick with us all these years. We've talked about it many times since then. The details remain frustratingly difficult to describe, but the core memories never change. The tall black figure, the long matted hair, the clothing that somehow looked wrong, the broken upside-down umbrella being used like a vacuum cleaner, the slow, full-body turn towards our car, the overwhelming feeling of dread. I've searched online over the years and have never found anyone describing something quite like this. Has anyone here ever heard folklore, urban legends, or personal stories involving something similar? After all these years, none of us have ever been able to make sense of it. Man, that's so creepy, dude. I've never heard a story quite like this one before. The weirdest part of it is probably that overwhelming sense of primal dread that she was feeling in this, saying that it just doesn't compare to any other kind of scared moment she's ever had in her life. Just that gut feeling that this is just pure evil or something like that. It's something bad, something to get away from. So scary. The way it inhumanly kind of turns towards them too is just very creepy and frightening, along with just the long matted hair and the tallness of it and the clothing just looking wrong. That's a weird detail here too. that the clothing just felt off, like something wasn't right about the way it was clothed. And then scraping the umbrella against the ground like a vacuum cleaner. So odd and just weird, just straight up weird. But yeah, man, I've looked into a lot of different folklore and cryptids and entities and stuff like that, and just have never really heard anything that quite sounds like this one. It's so specific to like all these weird traits is what's weird about it to me. Nothing I can really pinpoint as like, oh, this was that, or this is definitely one of these things or something like that. This was so weird about this one. It's so unique in the details described here. And one of the weirdest things too about it is the 4-year-old daughter just saying that wasn't real in such a matter-of-fact voice. How odd. You know what I mean? It's not even like they pointed it out to her. She just saw it along with them and automatically said that this thing is not real. So weird, man. Definitely a weird, unexplainable encounter. Super intriguing, though. Very interesting one. Definitely felt the need to jump on here and share this one and see if you've ever heard of or possibly even seen anything like this before. But yeah, man, let me know your thoughts on this story and this weird entity and what you think it could have possibly been. And like I said, if you've ever encountered anything like this before, let me know. But I think that's going to do it for the video. Follow along here, subscribe on the YouTube. I'm always trying to find weird, creepy stories like this, read them out and give my personal opinions at the end and ask you what your opinions are. So if you're into this kind of thing, definitely follow along, subscribe on the YouTube. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you next time.